Hello and welcome to special edition, and of course special edition bring you a minute-by-minute coverage of the latest happenings in Cairo and the whole governments of Egypt. Very delighted to be having with us here live in the studio Councillor Hossam Eldeen Allam, the international law expert. Good evening, Councillor Hossam.
Good evening to you too, and to all our
dear
dear viewers. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure for me also.
Thank you so much. And of course, in this edition of special edition, we're going to be taking a comprehensive look over the upcoming parliament elections 2025, but we're going to be taking a step looking over the elections abroad, which is due. And of course, as you all know, that the head of the National Elections Authority, Councillor Hossam Badawi, asserted full preparedness for tomorrow's House of Representatives elections for 2025. So tomorrow is the start
Yes.
that is taking part, and of course the last parliament elections abroad there was a good turnout. So how exactly is the process being run out this year, and what are the preparations taken by the National Elections Authority, except for the excellent, amazing awareness campaign that is given by the Councillor Hossam Badawi on media outlets?
Yes, this is definitely a very important question, but still at the very beginning I'd like to seize this opportunity to express my deep appreciation to all our dear viewers across the globe, and not only in Egypt. And it is definitely always a pleasure being here on Nile TV International. Definitely, we are currently witnessing a very momentous occasion in Egypt, as Egyptians both abroad and in Egypt preparing to cast their votes, taking part in this very important parliamentarian elections. And definitely we clearly see all the huge efforts and endeavors exerted by the National Elections Authority in Egypt in order to ensure the fairness and the integrity of the elections, in view of the fact that it is a national institution that is primarily judicial. All the members of the managing board are judges and councillors, and the Egyptian constitution of the year 2014 and its subsequent amendments make it very clear when it comes to the national responsibility laid on the shoulders of the National Elections Authority, when it comes to ensuring the preparedness of the state and all the concerned national institutions within the Egyptian state, in order to ensure the smooth flow of all of the stages of the electoral process, be it one that relates to the parliament, or as you have seen just a few months ago regarding the Senate, Council, or even before when it came to the presidential and the constitutional referendum. So definitely we are witnessing a huge effort being
taken by the National Elections Authority. But let me take this opportunity and then again recall the sound bites that were given, or the short messages that were given by Councillor Hossam Badawi, urging people to go to the ballots.
Definitely.
And hopefully, inshallah, going to the ballots and cast their votes just for nothing but for democracy. Exercise your democratic rights. How important is it, and why should people go to the ballots and cast their votes, regardless of anything? If you want this person, if you want that political party, you want to vote for someone, but just it is very important to exercise your democratic rights. Why?
Definitely.
Talk to us.
When we speak of the parliamentarian elections, definitely we are talking about a very important constitutional and institutional national instrument for building the peace of any given state. So the turnout of the people when they decide to make the effort and go to the casting ballots in order to cast their votes in favor of the candidate that they deem worthy of their votes. Definitely this is a sign, a healthy sign that reflects the trust of the people in the efforts of the state, in the institutions of the state, in order to bring about a parliament. And clearly we are aware of the crucial functions of the parliament as the legislature in any country, being one of the three powers in the state, given the fact that it is responsible for passing laws, also the checks and balances when it comes to observing the performance of the executive authority, in addition to its vital role in approving international treaties, as well as when it comes to public policy and the public budget in the state, in addition to its major role with regards to ensuring the protection of human rights in the country. So definitely this is an important process in view of the fact that it will bring about one of the most crucial constitutional institutions in the state. So definitely for the people to be empowered to have a say and to be keen to actively participate in the election process, this is definitely a very important, not only as a matter of fact a constitutional right, but in addition to this, this comes as a national responsibility. And I say this especially given and in view of all the challenges that the region is going through, and all the efforts of the Egyptian state to be a torch barrier when it comes to maintaining peace and security as a principal commitment of the Egyptian state in line with the UN Charter.
Of course, but then let us take it to the voting abroad, which is due, of course,
Yes.
tomorrow
Yeah,
and
in a few
Saturday.
hours, yes.
In a few hours,
Yes.
given the fact is the time difference between us and
Yes.
the United States and
other countries.
probably other countries, which
Yes.
there is a huge lack of time difference. So, talking about voting abroad, what are the exact preparations that we're taking? People are going to go to the diplomatic missions,
Yes.
and of course they're going to go to only the diplomatic missions, but they're not going to be voting online. Probably not everybody have access to go to the embassy, because not everyone is living in the cities. And it's a country like the United States, that some people might be living in California or New York, they might not be able to go to Washington. So what is going to happen in that case?
Yes, this is definitely a very important question, and we clearly see as
People
we
are eager to vote, but then
Definitely.
they don't have the access.
Yes,
So what
yeah.
type of solutions? that could be?
It is clear that the Egyptian state, mainly represented in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has been very keen to ensure that all diplomatic missions are up to the level of this national responsibility, and that Egyptians abroad can easily have access to the voting ballot, so that they can exercise their democratic right of taking part in the elections. Definitely, this is why we clearly see the keenness of the Egyptian state to make it accessible as much as it can in view of the available diplomatic missions. And we know that Egypt, as a matter of fact, is one of the countries that has a big number, one of the biggest numbers, as a matter of fact, globally when it comes to diplomatic missions, asserting the very crucial diplomatic role that the Egyptian state is keen to undertake and to exhibit. So definitely, we clearly, and this is why, and this is for a fact, in more than one country across the globe, there is more than one mission, i.e. more than one
So more
space
than one
available.
mission in another city. We
In
already
some
know.
countries, yes.
We already know that New Zealand is going to be the first stop for voters to cast their votes and go to the ballots. But we're talking about the idea of lots of immigrants are in the United States, lots of immigrants are on huge countries with different cities. There are small countries when you can go to the diplomatic mission and cast your vote, but then with large, huge countries that are so different, many different cities, then you have to find a formula or something that would give access to those people who are eager to share in this democratic process. What exactly is going to happen? I mean, is there going to be diplomatic missions, for example, in probably Houston, in probably New York, in California, or what is going to happen in that case? People who are not in Washington, for example.
Definitely this is a very important question. And let me state very clearly here that yes, we clearly see the huge effort taken and conducted by the National Elections Authority in this regard, alongside with the necessary coordination with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs being the one.
And the timing also.
Definitely, this is a huge task to coordinate all of this, and it takes and requires a lot of effort from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And this is why, in view of the available means and the available missions, the Egyptian state has been doing its best in this regard. And also it is worth mentioning that this is a dual responsibility, i.e., yes, the state is responsible for making it accessible and for providing the means and the space for the citizens to cast their votes, and still also the citizens themselves, they also have the responsibility to go and to take the time and the effort in order to cast their votes, in order to participate in this election process. So I would say it's a dual process, and both and all concerned parties need to carry out this responsibility for the sake of Egypt and for the future of Egypt.
The reason we're raising that question is that because we need to make the best use out of all those voices, because the best or the greatest number of immigrants we can just estimate or make a survey should be done by the National Elections Authority. The biggest estimate of immigrants in that country, then we should think of spreading some diplomatic missions.
I do think that this happens actually to be the case, and this is why in the wide countries, I would say that extend geographically for a wide geographical area, definitely we see that the Egyptian state is keen to have more than one diplomatic mission, and thus also in order, because primarily these are missions that provide services for the Egyptian citizens in these given countries. And also one of these functions when it's election times is for them to serve and to function as voting ballots for Egyptians to exercise their democratic right of casting their votes in the elections.
And then comes the campaigns, electoral campaigns.
Yes.
And probably people, immigrants who are not living in Egypt, they don't have, might not have access to information about each candidate and his electoral campaign, and how exactly is it going to work, and what if he's going to really satisfy their needs in their when they go back home, and what exactly, how is the electoral campaigns being managed abroad? I mean, are there representatives for the candidates, or is it done over online, or exactly in the diplomatic mission?
Yeah, definitely this is also a very crucial question that we need to address. We clearly see the Egyptian law is very clear in this regard, especially when we look at the provisions of the law for exercising political rights. For instance, let me highlight an example here for our dear viewers. In the law, it is very clear that the media has the responsibility to provide the equal opportunity for all candidates in order to present their views, their election programs, the prominent projects and ideas in their election programs. And the law is very clear that both public, state-owned, as well as private media has the responsibility to give this right and to provide it on an equal basis. So we clearly see this being guaranteed and ensured by the concerned laws. In addition to this, we clearly see, and this is obvious for any one observing the efforts of the election authority, the National Election Authority in Egypt, how that it's very keen to have an accessible official website. In addition to this, we see how it is always keen to provide video messages, to be present on the various means of communication, even including the social media. So all of this is to bring about an accessibility for all Egyptians, be they abroad or inside Egypt, to have access to all their rights when it comes to the election process, their voting ballots, where exactly they will go in order to cast their votes, and also in order to have the necessary knowledge about each and every candidate and their election programs, and therefore to decide on a sure knowledge, I would say, who is really worthy of their votes.
On that optimistic note, we'd like to thank you, Councillor Hossam, Dean Allam, the international law expert. It has been a pleasure having you, sir, here in the studio.
Always a pleasure.
Our real pleasure. And by this, we come to the end of this edition of Special Edition. Make sure that you join us through the hour with more coverages and special editions. Stay tuned.